What's up, you guys? All right, so we're going to do a recap here. Today was day one on the traveling trading station, and I'm in Martha's Vineyard, and the challenge here is to try to trade for as little time as possible. Basically, get in, get green, hit my daily goal, and get out of there. I don't want to overstay my welcome. Now, this is my traveling trading station, so I'll show this to you for a second, and then we'll talk a little bit about the traveling trading station challenge, and then I'll get into the recap. So the way this is powered, I have two Falcon laptops here, and they're both F15 laptops. They're great laptops. I like them both a lot. They're very good. This one has two USB monitors attached, and so this is the one that I'm using for trading. So I've got the laptop in the middle, USB monitor, USB monitor. So the way this is set up is my broker platform is on this laptop screen, and then I've got my scanners and charts on this one and scanners and charts on this one. And then this computer is actually just for broadcasting the ultra low latency broadcast to Warrior All Access members and for when I'm doing the YouTube morning show. So I get everything off of this computer over to that computer, and then I broadcast. So this is my little trading station right here, which is kind of nice, and I can walk out here, and there's some grass over there, and then I can come out over here and I can hang out, and then there's the pool right there. So the whole thing for me, whenever I travel and go, on vacation, I really don't take vacations where I'm not trading. For the most part, everywhere I go, if I leave for a week or 2 weeks or whatever it is, I go somewhere and then I trade there. And I love trading so much that for me, this is like a perfect vacation. It's a change of scenery. It's somewhere that I can go, and it's new and it's kind of interesting, but I get to stick with my routine, which is every morning sitting down at the trading station, right around 8 o'clock, and then doing some trading for a little bit. So that's what I did this morning. I sat down around 7:45 or so, and the first thing I looked at, of course, was my gap scanner, and I was like, okay, gap scanners this morning are not bad, not great, but they're not bad. And we had a bunch of energy stocks moving up this morning. So I sat down. We ended up having breaking news come out at 8:30. Took a trade on that stock. It squeezed up over 100%, and boom, that was the one that I got to my daily goal on. Now, the whole idea of traveling and trading, to me, I try to reduce expectations. I'm not on my home trading station. USB monitors are smaller. Even if I have them at the same resolution, they're smaller, so I've got to kind of squint a little bit. I'm not in my trading, I don't have my desk. I have the same computer, so I have the hotkeys, everything is the same there. And I use the trackpad on my laptop for my trading, so I don't need an external mouse or anything like that. So that's all fine, but the fact is I'm not in my home kind of comfort zone. And you might think, what does that really matter when you're trading? I mean, you sit down on your laptop, you could be at a coffee shop, you could be anywhere, but distractions. And so this morning, my son was with me most of the trading morning, and so that was a little bit of a distraction that I don't usually have at home. Although at home, of course, I have June, who's barking like crazy sometimes, and she's not here, so maybe it's a little bit offset, I don't know. But, for me, the other variable is internet, and not knowing for sure how good the internet is. So, I do a speed test when I get here. I check the ping from my location to New York City, of course, so I can get an understanding of, what my latency might be for trading. It wasn't bad, and I was like, okay, and the internet speed is good. They have fiber here in Martha's Vineyard. At least I assume that's what it is, because the download speed and upload is the same, and it's at like 220. So I was like, this is phenomenal. And I'm on Wi-Fi. So, this is a house that I've rented, and it seems to be, the internet's great. So, that's a variable, because I'm not hardwired. I would prefer that. I don't honestly think that it makes a huge difference in most cases. Like today, I couldn't tell at all that I was on Wi-Fi and that I wasn't hardwired. I couldn't tell at all. I couldn't tell that maybe I'm like 100 miles further away from New York City than I am at my house. Like, not at all. 0%. Like, that's not an issue. So that was fine. But, when you're not in your zone, you can sometimes be more likely just to make a silly mistake. And what you don't want to do when you're trading and you're traveling is you don't want to end up taking such a big loss that you're then thinking about it for the rest of the day, right? Because then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of being able to just take a couple trades, keep it low key, and hey, if you make a little bit of money, that's great, right? I mean, that's kind of the idea for me is if I can make a little bit of money, take a couple trades, then I can sort of enjoy the rest of the day and I can take it easy. So my goal right now for this trip to Martha's Vineyard is I'd like to try to make $1,000 a day. Now, as always, I'll say my results are not typical. You guys know that. I've said it a million times. I'll say it again here. My results are not typical. And so if I end up achieving $1,000 a day over the 2 weeks I'm here and I can make 10 grand, those won't be typical results. The typical result of most beginner traders is losing money. So approach trading very cautiously. But my goal here is not, and I don't expect to be able to crush it. I don't expect to have like crazy home run days. I don't expect to have a $50,000, $75,000 green day. Could it happen? It could, but I don't expect it. Now, I have a couple of options for the way I can approach this traveling trading challenge. One is I can reduce my share size. So I can't even allow myself, for instance, to take a 50 or 75,000 share position because, perhaps that would allow me to take way too much risk when I'm on my laptop, with the sort of mobile trading station set up, and it could set myself up for a big loss, which could then kind of ruin the trip in a way. So to prevent that from happening, I could reduce size big time. And I did today. I traded with much smaller size. I got in, I got green, I got out. I got in, I got green, I got out. I traded really low key, and I was able to moderate my share size myself. So I didn't put this restriction on my account. I was just able to be like, you know what? Take it slow. It's the first day after a long weekend. No need to push it. However, if I find myself, at some point this week, pushing it a little too hard and being too aggressive, I may need to call my broker and say, hey, until I notify you otherwise, my max share size is 10,001 share. And they'll put that on my account if I call them and ask them to. And just like that, I cannot take more than 10,000 shares. I can't do it. So sometimes that's a good way to kind of like mellow things, bring things down a little bit. And the idea for me is usually I try to time my travel around periods in the market that I expect will be slower. Because then I don't really feel as bad that I'm not pushing as hard because I'm just like, this is a slower time in the market anyways. So hey, if I can get in, I can make a little, that's great. If I have some losses, that's fine, but I'm going to trade with smaller size so the stakes are lower. And that's kind of the idea here. So today on Jan, I was able to, on my first trade, make like $750. Second trade made like 150. So got myself up 900. And I sort of said, you know what? Anything over 1,000 is great. And really quickly, I was at 2,500, 2,800. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, I'm just actively trading it, not with big size, but it started to open up. It started to pull away. And it squeezed from 4 up to 425, 445, 450, 460, 470, 480, $5. And as we got that extension, that's where I got myself to up a little over $6,000 on it. I think 6,700 was my total profit on Jan. So, my results are not typical. That was a good trade. And actually, just like that, I'm at 60%, 65% basically of what my goal was for these 2 weeks. We got some action today. Now, we might have another day this week or next week where there's nothing. And I'm going to want to try to be content with not trading if there isn't anything. Just, really be mellow about it. So, and this is kind of my feeling that this is the mindset that I can bring with me anywhere. I can do it right here in Martha's Vineyard. I could do it, in Italy or in Europe somewhere, because I don't like going away and not trading at all. Number one, I feel like trading is not that difficult for me. So it's like, just do the 1 to 2 hours a day. And then like on a day like today, if I make $6,500, that's phenomenal. Doing that for 10 days, that's a substantial amount of money. That helps pay for the trip. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of money. But at the same time, a trip is supposed to be about relaxing. And, really, the whole idea with trading is to try to be independent. So I kind of think that a lot of traders get so sucked into the market that we sort of lose that independence. We sit down early, we don't take our eyes off the market until it closes. And if you're trading from 4 a.m. pre-market until 8 p.m. end of after hours, that's not freedom, right? That's a 16-hour day or something like that, right? So that's a super long day. Now, if you're trading the crypto markets, you could be in front of the computer 24 hours a day, right? So you have to find some balance. You have to kind of regulate yourself. And when I take these kinds of trips, it's an opportunity for me to sort of go back to basics. Get in, get out, stick with the strategies I'm the most confident in. And usually when I take these kinds of trips and I make this sort of really affirmative effort to take it slow, focus on good quality setups, usually my accuracy improves. And then when I come out of these trips, I can have sort of a nice boost of confidence because I'm like, hey, you did a good job. Now, there have been times where I've taken trips and, on the first day of the trip, I'm jet lagged, I'm tired, and I end up taking a really stupid trade. This happened to me twice. But the one time when I went to Italy, I landed and sat down and I was like, oh, the market's about to open. Sat down, traded, and lost like $8,000 like that. And then another time when I was in Italy, I had 3 back-to-back or 2 back-to-back really big red days, and it was just like so brutal. And it really weighed on me for sort of that period of the trip. I was like, I just felt so crummy. And so sort of the takeaway from those trips was know when you really should just leave it and not trade. So if you're really exhausted, if you're really tired, if you don't have good internet, we plan as much as we do, but sometimes, life happens and you end up not having good internet. And then you're like, all right, well, I guess, this is what it is. I don't want to push it. So, or that's the smart thing, is to say I don't want to push it. And then you can always come back and, try again another day. So that's kind of, those are a couple of lessons that I kind of had to learn the hard way. But it's fine. I learned them, and now I'm pretty good on them. So on this trip, the goal is just to get in, get green. $1,000 a day, that's kind of my minimum. I really want to get over 1,000, on a green day. If I can get to 2,500, 4 or 5 grand, that's fine. I don't think I'm probably going to have a lot of days that are much bigger even than today, because we'll either need stocks going up 100% like we had today, every day for the next 2 weeks, or I would need to size up with bigger size on the 20-30% movers. And I don't think this is the right time to be sizing up. We're still in a bear market. It's now summer, so this is the time to go a little slower. And I'm going to see if I can really make this a nice 2 weeks where I get in, I get green, and then, I go out, I go sailing, I go ride my bike, I do stuff with my kids, and, I get this sort of other extreme of the work-life balance where I make trading as small a part of my day as possible, both mentally and in the actual time. And I think that that's important to do sometimes. And if you're going to make it as small a part of your day as possible, you want to focus on the time of day you're going to do the best and the type of stocks you're going to trade the best. So my goal is to try to make this a 10-hour work week where I work, basically an hour, 2 hours each day this week. And if I can walk away with, $1,000 a day or something like that, that's job well done. I'm going to be very happy with that. So today's day 1 in the books, and I'll be back at it tomorrow. The fact is, I'll only do as well as the market is willing, to give me opportunities. And there's nothing I can do about that. Maybe we'll have a great gap scanner tomorrow. Maybe we won't. But I'll take what we have. I'm going to have this window of time each day where I'm going to try to be aggressive, within reason, and just consolidate my trading to that 1-2 hour window, and we'll see how I do. So today's day 1. in the books, be back at it tomorrow, and I'm hoping for a nice gap scanner so I can find 1 or 2 trades and kind of like one and done. Get in, get green, get out. What I don't want to do is give back profits and then get into this cycle of over trading, try to make up losses. I don't want to do that. Not today. Not these 2 weeks. This is the time to really like relax as much as I can on trading, because we know that trading can be stressful. So sometimes a change of scenery can be a really helpful way to sort of press the reset button. With trader rehab, with saying, okay, I'm going to be super disciplined because I'm doing this thing. And you don't need to be a millionaire trader to have a change of scenery. That's not what you need. And for me, I don't need to be a millionaire trader to do a couple hours in the morning and then go ride my bike with my son for the rest of the day, or go to a park, or go on a 14-foot sailboat from like the 1980s. It's probably worth like $1,000. I'm not on a yacht. I'm not doing any of this fancy stuff. I rented a house, but this is for me like all keeping it super mellow, just like taking it easy, making a little bit trading, and then enjoying life. And it's summer. We've got a short summer season here, so let's try to enjoy it. If it's going to be a bear market, well, I'm going to not spend as much time fighting a losing battle. I'm going to get in, get green, and get out. So that's the game plan. I'll give you the recap here today, which I hope you guys enjoy. Reminder as always, trading is risky. My results are not typical. There's no guarantee. Not going to give you any guarantee that you'll find success, so take it slow. If you want to learn from someone who's been doing this for a long time, check out more of my videos here on YouTube. I think you'll really enjoy them, and I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning for the live day trading morning show. I'll go live, sometime between 8:45 and 9:15, depending on what's going on in the market. All right, I'll see you guys then. Okay, everyone, so we're going to do recap of trades from the day. It's early. It's only 10 a.m., not even 10 a.m., but this is day 1 of trading on my traveling trading station here at Martha's Vineyard, and my goal was to come in, hopefully take 1 or 2 trades, and be done for the day. I ended up taking more trades than I could count. I don't know how many trades I took, but I took a number of trades on Jam, and I finished in pretty good shape. I'm really pleased. I had said that I wanted to hit at least $1,000, and if I could get 2,500 or $5,000, that would be terrific. And I'm sitting at 5,500 in my main account, plus 700 in my main account and 5,500 in my retirement account. So about $6,700 of profit on Jam. Reminder as always that my results are not typical. Trading is risky, and we make no guarantee that you will find success as a trader or that you're more or less likely to succeed as a trader if you're learning from me. Trading is risky. This morning, Jan was the stock that I got dialed in on. So let's back it up here to the beginning of the morning with Jan. News came out at 8:30 right here. And on this candle, it spiked up to a high of 333 and then formed a 10-second micro pullback. On that micro pullback, I bought the dip at 430, 438, 435. And on this candle, it pops up to 381. 338, 335. Pops up to 381. I took some profit off the table. I didn't get a very good fill on my exit. One order was a good fill, the other was not as great of a fill. So I was a little bit annoyed, but that's the way it goes. It then rallies back up here to a high of 412. And then it sells off. And then right here I got back in for the break back over volume weighted average price. This is an inverted head and shoulders pattern right here. And I added for this break here through 412. And where I did the absolute best was right in here with a long at about 4, and then adding right in this area at 430, 440. And that break, I didn't expect it. I mean, we ripped through 455, 460 straight up to 5, and that was our cleanest candle of the day. and I sold most of my position way too soon. I sold it at, I don't know, 65 or 70. I didn't think it was going to go. I mean, I was surprised. Micro pullback here, which I added on. That was one of my bigger positions of the day, and I thought we were going to get continuation, and we didn't, so stopped out of that flat. And a couple more trades in this area, but now since the open, it's been kind of choppy. It's been pulling back. So, I did the best I could on it, and I traded it, I don't know, 10, 15 times, and I'm shutting it down. I'm happy with where I sit right here today. I'm also, I haven't lost sight of the fact that last week I finished red. I was red last week. So if we look at my my calendar for last week, let's see. So last week, I had a very small green day on Monday, and then red on Tuesday, and red again on Wednesday. And this was gross before fees and commissions. So it was a little bit bigger red with fees and commissions. So I was down about $16,000 in these 2 days, 17,000. Well, 18,000. Call it 20. We'll just round up a little bit. So $20,000 in the red. I made back 6,500 on this day. So still finished the week down about 14 grand, 13 grand. And then of course no trades yesterday for Memorial Day, and today up about 6,000. So I'm still down about, $8,000 or whatever it is, 7,000 off my high of month. I'm aware of that. So in other words, I'm still digging myself out of the hole a little bit. Let's see. I just want to look at the month of May. So I was at 64,000 gross, but only 47 net. Fees and commissions were higher this month. So today, it'll put me over a little over $50,000 on the month, which is good. Not phenomenal, but it's good for me. And this would be kind of where I sit, right? So 52. So the high of month was 63, and then started to pull back a little bit. All right, so hopefully I can have a good start to the month of June, starting tomorrow, and can recoup, I guess, the rest of the 10,000 or so 15,000 that I'm still down versus my high. And then as I look at my equity curve on the year, we'll be moving through, through new highs. So definitely it's been a sluggish year. Green, no doubt. Sitting at $365,000, or that was my high, so sitting at a little over $350 right now. So, it has to be tracking for less than $1 million on the year, which is certainly, for me, a slow year compared to the last two, but at the same time, it's green, it's profit. And there's a lot of traders out there who have been very successful traders who are red on the year because the market has been, as difficult as it's been this year. So I'm proud to be among the ranks of the few traders out there who are green this year. So I do seem to have something that's working, and I know that when things pick up, I'll be here ready to swing hard and capitalize on the opportunities. But there have just been fewer opportunities, so have to be a little bit more conservative, not try to swing hard at everything that moves. And that's a tough one for me. I like to step up to the plate, but Thomas is putting in perspective there. He's saying he's makes $68,000 a year in his day job. So, and that's a full year of working, probably 40 hours a week, with maybe 2 weeks of vacation. So if I can do this in a 10-hour work week, that would be phenomenal. I don't know how many hours I've been trading on average this year. Probably from about 8 a.m., 8:30 until 10:30 average. So it probably has been about 2 hours a day average this year. We haven't, there's been a couple days where I've traded later, but not too much. So, yeah, But commissions have been a disproportionate percentage of my profits this year, and that's because there's been a lot of churning, making money and then giving it back, making money and then giving it back. So that's sort of a indicator of being in a bear market. It's just choppier. You think something's going to start to open up, you size up, and then it kind of rolls over. So kind of continuing that cycle. You could just see it's marked by all of these whips, up and then back down. So in that period of time, I didn't make profit, but I generated commissions, and then back up and then back down. So when you lose, you're losing, but then you have to make it back, and you're going to burn commissions to do it. So this is not a super efficient way to be trading, where you're doing 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like if that's, you wouldn't run a marathon like that, right? But sometimes that is kind of the way it goes. And, when it comes to sailing, sometimes, I've got the sailboat out there and I was sailing last night. Sometimes you are moving away from where you plan to go before you come back. So it is sort of like taking these long steps in the wrong direction to get back to where you're going. So the quickest route isn't always a straight line. And in this case, with trading, this has been my path this month or this year, and it's not the smoothest, but that's okay. If we looked at from September to the end of last year, just this sort of comparison, I had a couple of pretty solid months. It was pretty steady, a little bit of chop, but the progress was, I was having huge green days, from time to time. So, you look at that on a calendar and you're going to see, $15,000, $30,000, $57,000, $78,000, $57,000 days, $42,000 days. These are huge green days. So right now, this year, I've only had I've only had 2 days where I was up over 50. I think I had 1 day where I was up around 100. So, it's just been, we haven't had as many stocks that have had those kinds of crazy parabolic moves. But that's okay. When they come back, I will be here to capitalize on those opportunities. And in the meantime, I'm keeping my head above water. And that's what I would encourage. Just adjusting expectations, reducing your daily goal target, and being content with just trying to keep your head above water right now. That's what this year is going to be about. And if you can survive this year in a bear market, you are building a really strong foundation for your future. So that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll be back at it for day 2 of the Traveling Trading Station Challenge first thing tomorrow morning. All right, reminder as always, trading is risky. My results are not typical. There's no guarantee of success, so take it slow. I'll see you tomorrow. And that right there was an entire video with no ads. I don't monetize my YouTube channel with video ads, which means you guys get to enjoy the content. But do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up and let YouTube know that this channel is the channel to watch if you want to learn about day trading.